All right, folks, gather around. Let's talk about the wonderful world of golf rules. You know, that little rule book tucked away in your bag? The one you use as a coaster more than anything? Well, believe it or not, those rules aren't just there to add weight to your bag. Knowing the rules, even the obscure ones, can be the difference between a birdie and a bogey. Or worse, a lost ball and a free drop. We've all been there, scratching our heads on the fairway, wondering what to do. Can I ground my club in a hazard? Wait, how many penalty strokes was that again? Fear not, my friends. Fairdy's here to guide you through the rough. We're diving deep into the lesser-known rules of golf, the ones that might just save your scorecard and your sanity. Get ready to impress your buddies and maybe, just maybe, shave a few strokes off your game. Now, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? We've all been there. You stripe a drive down the middle of the fairway feeling confident. You get to your ball, or where you thought your ball should be. Panic sets in. Is that a divot? A leaf? Nope. Just your ball's ghost. Now, before you start channeling your inner Sherlock Holmes, let's talk about Rule 18-1, ball out of bounds or lost. The rule states you have 5 minutes from the time you begin searching to find your ball. That's right, 5 minutes, not an eternity. And if you can't find it in that time, well, you have to take stroke and distance relief, adding a penalty stroke to your score and replaying the shot from the original spot. It's like getting a speeding ticket for your golf ball. Trust me, it happens to the best of us. Remember that time I hit one into the gallery at the British Open? Let's just say my caddy earned his pay that day. Ah, hazards, those beautiful, treacherous beasts. They add a layer of complexity and excitement to the game of golf, don't they? Water hazards, bunkers, even those pesky lateral water hazards that seem to snake through the course like a mischievous serpent. They can turn a great round into a challenging one in the blink of an eye. They can be intimidating, no doubt, but understanding the rules can make all the difference. Knowing what to do when your ball finds one of these hazards can save you strokes and frustration. First up, Rule 18-2, ball lost in a water hazard. This rule is crucial for those moments when your ball decides to take a swim. If your ball takes a dip in the drink and you can't find it, you have a couple of options. It's all about knowing your choices and making the best decision for your game. You can take a penalty stroke and drop a ball within 2 club lengths of where the ball last crossed the hazard's edge. This can often be the quickest way to get back into play. Or you can go back to the spot you played the shot and try again, adding a penalty stroke to your score. This might be a better option if the drop zone is in a particularly tricky spot. Next, we have Rule 18-3, ball in a water hazard, lateral water hazard. This rule comes into play when your ball lands in a lateral water hazard, which is marked by red stakes. This one's a bit trickier. Lateral water hazards can be particularly challenging because of their positioning on the course. If your ball is in a lateral water hazard, marked by red stakes, you have the same options as with a regular water hazard, but there's an additional option that can sometimes be a lifesaver. However, you can also drop a ball behind the hazard, keeping the point where the ball last crossed the hazard margin directly between the hole and the spot on which the ball is dropped. This can give you a better angle for your next shot. Remember, you can't touch the ground in a hazard with your club before playing your shot, even for a practice swing. This rule is in place to maintain the challenge and integrity of the game. You don't want to incur the wrath of the golf gods with an illegal ground touch, so keep your club above ground and your focus sharp. We've all been there, stuck behind a tree, buried in the rough or in some other impossible situation. It's one of the most frustrating moments in golf. Your ball might even be teetering on the edge of a cliff. Okay, maybe not that extreme. Sometimes your ball lands in a position that's just plain unplayable. That's where Rule 19 comes in, offering you a lifeline when you need it most. Under Rule 19, you can declare your ball unplayable anywhere on the course except in a water hazard and take relief by incurring a 1-stroke penalty. You then have 3 options to consider. The first option is stroke and distance. Go back to where you played the previous shot and try again. This can be a good choice if you think you can execute a better shot the second time around. The second option is back on the line relief. Drop a ball behind the point where your ball lies, keeping that point directly between the hole and the spot on which the ball is dropped, with no limit on how far back you can go. This can give you a better angle or lie for your next shot. The third option is lateral relief. Drop a ball within 2 club lengths of the spot where your ball lies, but no nearer the hole. Remember, you can't improve your lie when dropping the ball. This can be useful if you just need to get out of a tricky spot. So if you're dropping in the rough, tough luck, that's the price you pay for an unplayable lie. But at least you have options to keep your game moving forward. Section 5. Identifying your ball. Rule 12-2. This rule is crucial for every golfer, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out. You tee off, your playing partners tee off, and everyone's ball disappears into the wild blue yonder. It's a common scene on the golf course. You all find a ball in roughly the same area. Sounds familiar? This is where things can get tricky. Well, before you just pick up a ball and assume it's yours, remember Rule 12-2 ball identification. This rule is there to help you avoid unnecessary penalties. This rule states that you must identify your ball before playing it during each hole. It's a simple step that can save you a lot of trouble. How do you do that, you ask? It's easier than you might think. Well, most golfers mark their balls with a pen or a Sharpie, using a unique pattern or initial. This makes it easy to spot your ball among others. Think of it like your ball's fingerprint. It's unique to you and helps avoid confusion. If you hit a ball without identifying it and it turns out not to be yours, you're in for a world of hurt. This can lead to frustrating penalties. We're talking penalty strokes, angry playing partners, and maybe even a stern talking to from the golf gods. It's not a situation you want to find yourself in, so do yourself a favor and mark your ball. It's a small step that can make a big difference. It only takes a second and can save you a lot of grief down the road. Plus, it adds a personal touch to your game. And who knows, maybe one day you'll find yourself on the green at the Masters, reaching into your bag for your lucky marker. It's all part of the game. Section 6, the curious case of the embedded ball, Rule 23-2. Picture this. You hit a beautiful approach shot to the green, only to find your ball has plugged itself into the ground like a lawn dart. Frustrating? Absolutely. Unplayable? Not necessarily. Rule 23-2, otherwise known as the embedded ball rule, provides relief in this specific situation. But here's the catch. It only applies if your ball is embedded in its own pitch mark on the green. If this happens, you're entitled to free relief. Simply mark the spot right behind where the ball is embedded. Lift, clean your ball and place it within 1 club length of the marked spot, no closer to the hole. However, if your ball embeds itself in the fairway or rough, you're out of luck. You have to play it as it lies, no matter how much you might curse the golf gods under your breath. Section 7. Putting with Flagsticks In and Out, Rule 17. Remember the days when you had to have one designated flagstick attendant for your foursome? Did you want it in or out, Jim? Thankfully, those days are long gone. Now you can putt with the flagstick in or out, and it's entirely your prerogative. Rule 17 was simplified a few years back, eliminating the penalty for hitting the flagstick while putting from on the green. Yes, you read that right. No more penalty strokes if your ball clangs off the pin and ricochets into the pond. But wait, there's more. You can even have your caddy attend the flagstick and remove it as your ball is rolling towards the hole. This might be a bit much for your weekend foursome, but hey, who am I to judge your putting strategy? So the next time you're on the green, feel free to putt with the flagstick in or out. It's your call, champ. Section 8, Gimmes, Concessions and Etiquette. Now, let's talk about a slightly more ambiguous area of golf gimmes and concessions. These aren't official rules in the rulebook, but rather unspoken agreements between players based on sportsmanship and good old-fashioned golf etiquette. A gimme is essentially a putt that's so short it's considered automatic. Think tap-ins or anything inside the leather. It's considered bad form to refuse a gimme, so if someone offers you one, accept it gracefully and move on. A concession is similar to a gimme, but it can apply to any shot during a hole. For example, if your opponent hits their ball into a deep bunker and you know they're going to struggle to get out, you can concede the hole. Remember, golf is a game of integrity and respect. Be mindful of your playing partners and always err on the side of sportsmanship. And please, for the love of Arnie, don't be that guy who refuses a gimme on a 2-foot putt. Section 9, Mastering the Rules, Mastering the Game. So there you have it, folks. A crash course on some of golf's lesser-known rules. We've covered lost balls, hazards, unplayable lies, and even the etiquette of gimmes and concessions. Now, I know what you're thinking, Flaherty, that's a lot to remember. And you're right, it is. But here's the thing, you don't have to memorize the entire rulebook to improve your game. Start by familiarizing yourself with the rules that come up most often. Keep a copy of the rulebook in your bag, or download the app on your phone, you tech-savvy golfer you. And don't be afraid to ask questions. The more you understand the rules, the more confident you'll be on the course. Remember, golf is a game of inches, and sometimes knowing the rules can be the difference between a triumphant fist pump and a head-scratching bogey. Now go out there, play by the rules, and remember, keep it in the short grass.